Let's set the scene. It's the Golden Globes, the wild, unpredictable cousin of awards season. Movie and TV stars gather, champagne flows, and the air is thick with glamour and ego. But this isn't just about glitz. It's a stage for sharp commentary. Enter Nikki Glaser, fearless, brutally honest, and a master of the roast. She's not here to coddle Hollywood. She's here to shake things up. The Golden Globes has a tradition of hosts who do more than just read names. They hold a mirror to the room and the world. The host's job has evolved. It's about perspective, about being the court jester who can speak truth to power. With Nikki at the helm, everyone knew this wouldn't be a night of gentle jokes about movie runtimes. This was set to be a masterclass in roasting, targeting not just actors, but the very institutions shaping our lives. The anticipation was electric, like putting a shark in a fancy aquarium. The Golden Globe stage was about to become a battleground for wit and truth. Nikki's reputation promised a night where no one, and nothing, was safe from her comedic scalpel. The audience braced themselves, not just for laughs, but for a reckoning. This wasn't just another awards show. It was an event. The stakes were high, and the world was watching. And Nikki Glaser was ready to deliver. What's a monologue at the Golden Globes? It's not just a speech. It's a high-wire act. The host's first shot to set the tone, win the room, and signal buckle up. It's a performance, a declaration, and a balancing act between roasting and rallying. The goal? Make the stars laugh at themselves, but also make a point. The best monologues break the ice, slice through tension, and unite the room in laughter. For a few minutes, everyone, A-lister or sound tech, is in on the same joke. But the truly great ones go further. They use the platform to talk about bigger issues: politics, society, the absurdity of it all. The host becomes a translator, turning our daily frustrations into sharp, digestible jokes. Nikki Glaser excels at this. She wasn't just there to talk about movies. She was there to talk about us. Her monologue was a tool, cutting, clever, and unafraid. It wasn't just about Hollywood. It was about the world we all live in. The monologue became a moment of communal release before the main event. Nikki's words set the stage for a night of laughter and reflection. The audience was ready, and so was she. The show had truly begun. Nikki hit the stage with a mix of charm and danger. She started with the classics, jokes about actors, movies, and Hollywood's quirks, compliments that stung, insults that flattered. The roast master's art. The room laughed, but everyone sensed she was just getting started. Then, Nikki shifted gears. The jokes turned sharper, the targets bigger. She moved from celebrities to the institutions that shape our lives. Suddenly, the monologue wasn't just a roast. It was social commentary. She pivoted from a joke about a silly hat to a punchline about American politics. The transition was seamless. The laughter, a little more nervous. Nikki wrapped tough truths in irresistible fun. The jokes built in intensity, dissecting not just people but systems. Her focus narrowed, the government and the news media. The laughter in the room changed, recognition mixed with discomfort. The real show had started. One of the night's biggest moments? Nikki's jab at the Department of Justice. She quipped, "The DOJ is here tonight, nominated for Best Slow Burn Drama. 6 years running, and we're still waiting for the finale. The suspense is killing us." Very, very slowly. The room erupted. Why? Because it was true. We've all watched endless investigations crawl along, headlines promising resolution that never comes. Nikki's joke nailed that frustration, turning the DOJ into a never-ending TV show. It was more than a punchline. It was a sharp critique of institutional inertia. The brilliance? She used Hollywood language to skewer Washington's pace. The joke wasn't partisan. It was universal. Nikki voiced what everyone was feeling, impatience with a system stuck in slow motion. The laughter was recognition, a collective sigh of, "Finally, someone said it." Great comedy doesn't preach. It observes. Nikki didn't tell us what to think. She captured what we already felt. The joke was clever, but the impact was real. For a moment, the audience felt seen, and the DOJ felt the sting. Next, Nikki turned her sights on CBS News. CBS is here. You remember CBS, right? That app on your grandparents' TV that still thinks the evening news is on at 6:30? Their motto? If it's important, you'll hear about it from your daughter who saw it on TikTok 3 days ago. The room cracked up. The joke landed because it was true. Legacy media struggling to keep up in a TikTok world. CBS as a relic, news delayed by days, not seconds. It was a gentle jab, but a pointed one. The punchline captured the generational divide in how we get our news. Nikki's joke didn't just mock CBS. It questioned the whole industry's relevance. It made us laugh and made us think about where we get our information. The laughter was tinged with anxiety about the future of journalism. And maybe, just maybe, a reminder to check TikTok. Why do these jokes matter? Because humor is a pressure valve for our collective anxieties. Jokes about the DOJ's slow pace or CBS's irrelevance give us a sense of control over things that usually make us feel powerless. Laughter becomes a small victory, a way to mock the mighty and reclaim a bit of agency. The CBS joke validates our confusion in a chaotic media landscape. Satire isn't just about laughs, it's about critical thinking. By reframing institutions as TV shows or outdated apps, Nikki exposes their flaws in a way we can all understand. A good joke doesn't just end with laughter, it starts a conversation. It plants a seed that lingers long after the punchline. Comedy, at its best, helps us cope and see the world a little more clearly. That's why it matters. Nikki's monologue was more than jokes. It was a mirror for our times. Her comedy captured the mood, cynicism, exhaustion, and a desperate need to laugh. The DOJ and CBS jokes weren't just about those institutions. They reflected a broader loss of faith in authority. We live in an era of skepticism, where trust in government and media is at a low. Nikki's humor gave voice to our eye rolls and sighs. Laughter became catharsis, a way to cope with powerlessness and confusion. The comedy didn't fix the problems, but it made them easier to bear. In a world that feels absurd, Nikki's monologue was a state of the union in punchlines. The reaction in the room was instant, shock, then laughter. Nikki's jokes about the DOJ and CBS landed hard but fair. The targets were powerful institutions, not vulnerable people, a key to good roasting. The celebrities laughed, relieved the spotlight wasn't on them for once. The room felt united, if only for a moment. On social media, the monologue exploded. Clips went viral, hashtags trended. People didn't just laugh, they analyzed, debated, and shared. The jokes became memes, GIFs, and fuel for thousands of conversations. Nikki's words gave people a new way to talk about their frustrations. The monologue's success wasn't just in the room, it echoed across the internet. The jokes became a shared language for a shared experience. What can we learn from a 10-minute speech at an awards show? A lot. Nikki's monologue was a masterclass in the power of comedy to cut through noise and spark conversation. Comedy isn't a distraction, it's a tool for critical engagement. Laughter lowers defenses, making us more open to new ideas. A great comedian is a truth teller, a social commentator, and a philosopher. Nikki's jokes about the DOJ and CBS became more than punchlines. They became shorthand for public frustration. In a world that often feels overwhelming, comedy gives us the last laugh. And sometimes, that's the most important laugh of all. The legacy of a great monologue is the conversation it starts, and the perspective it shifts.